Jonathan was our California baby. He was the youngest of three, and he had two brothers, one named Spencer and one named Michael.
Jonathan was probably the best athlete of the three. But Jonathan, rather than putting all his energy towards athletics, he pursued other things. He liked music. He loved guitar. He loved writing music. He had a lot of different talents.
He could walk into a room and everybody would know him, not because of any negative things, but because of just his magnetic, I called it personality. You wanted to get to know him because you just liked him.
As Jonathan got older, we suspected things were going on, but we never really caught him doing anything. Where he was interested in maybe baseball and some other activities, golf, he kind of lost interest in that. His focus became what was elsewhere. He was centered around this new set of friends. Now, Jonathan had a huge heart. Jonathan loved people. And I think that's part of what drew people to him. Jonathan had a heart for the underdog. So that person who you would look at and go, you know, he's just had a rough life. Jonathan was the kind of person that would embrace that guy or that girl. And so a lot of times when you would talk to Jonathan about the friends he's hanging out with, he'd start telling you about his family situation, what was wrong, all the stuff that's going on. And you're sitting there going, oh my God, you know, I'm looking at this kid through a different lens. And Jonathan's looking at him and viewing him as, I don't want to say a project, but he's viewing him as someone that needs a friend, someone that needs somebody steady in his life. And so his interest changed, doing things together as a family. He didn't want to participate in family things anymore.
Maybe more isolation, more isolated. Door closed, you know, to the bedroom. Didn't talk as much, wasn't interacting the way we were used to him interacting with us. He became just much more private. But again, here we are as parents. We're going, well, he's going through a stage.
I know we would ask Jonathan, are you doing drugs? Are you high? And he would kind of blow up. No, I don't do drugs. I would never do that. He would never admit to doing anything.
He did admit to smoking pot, which Jonathan and I did a lot of arguing over this.
What I saw in Jonathan was, and I can remember laying in bed at night telling Becky, if we don't get a handle on this, he's going to be laying in that bedroom at 30 years old. Because we saw everything just left him, his initiative, his ambition. He did get interested in culinary arts and was quite good in the kitchen and worked in some great restaurants, and everyone raved about the things he did. His problem was he couldn't keep a job. And I think life probably changed a lot for Jonathan when he ended up in that restaurant industry. Because and we learned later, that's a party crowd. You know, they typically work until the late hours of the evening. They don't go to work in the morning, so they'll party after work. And so I think that exposed Jonathan to other things. As Jonathan got older, and we watched and he continued to struggle more in school. Everything seemed to be difficult for him. And not knowing at that time he was smoking weed, but looking back or thinking, oh my gosh, he may have been doing things other than that. We can't confirm that, but we just don't know. Well, I kept looking at Jonathan and asking, why do you keep making the same decision over and over and over? It's one bad decision after another. I'm looking at him thinking he's making these decisions, but it's not him. It's the drug that's making him. It's the drug that controls him. Jonathan's brain, like most addicts that get into, especially when they get into opiates, the brain's rewired. What you and I look at as common sense, they can't figure that out.
You really don't know what to do. So sometimes you go back to the old, it's he'll he'll move out of this, because I still didn't understand the dynamics of addiction and the damage that was taking place in his brain and the rewiring and all that's going on up there. So I think for me, because I didn't know what to do with it, I'd never had addiction in my family. It was totally foreign. His other two brothers didn't seem to have an issue. He'll outgrow this.
You know, I tell dads all the time, tough love's okay. But where I think I failed Jonathan most is all he got from me was tough love. I tell dads sometimes you just need to hug him and kiss him and tell him you love him. And that's the thing I miss most. We as parents are failing our children. And so I think we need to hang on to them and just let them be our babies, our children, a little bit longer. We need to be involved in their lives. We need to know who their friends are. We need to know who they're hanging out with.
When you know your child is fully consumed with the substance, whether it's alcohol, whether it's, you know, a substance or drugs or whatever it is, you begin to live every single day with this on you. It is somewhere. It's here. You carry it here, but you're always carrying it. I could physically feel it where I would carry it. And I never knew, as I realized the dangerous place that he was at, if a phone call was going to come in that day, because there were certain numbers on my phone that if it rang, I would hold it and go, I don't know if I can answer this, because I don't know what's on the other end of this conversation that I'm going to have with this person. So that's where I lived, say, that last year of day and night. We lived near a highway. I can hear the siren going every single time. I would think, are they going to get my son? Am I going to get a call in a few minutes? I just remember, the sound of a siren was a trigger for me. So anyway, the night, about 2:30 in the morning, the phone rang. And I knew the number. So what I had trained myself to do was always ask the worst question first, because if I got the answer to that would be, what I wanted to hear, not what I didn't want to hear, then anything less down the list of questions were not bad. So my first question would be, is Jonathan dead? Because I knew if they said no, I could deal with anything else. And the voice on the other end paused what seemed like a long time. It was seconds. It was yes. A parent is not supposed to lose their child. And as a mother who gave birth to my California baby, a part of me died. That was an extension of me. And he's gone. And he's not supposed to be gone. I'm supposed to die first, not him. And it's as real at this moment as it was 4 years ago. Jonathan said that he believed he was supposed to help people. And I remember so clear looking at him right where I could tell you the spot where I was standing. And I said, I believe you're going to do that. I believe it's going to happen. I don't know what it's going to look like. But I said, I think you're going to do that. I said, I never dreamed it would take his life in order to get people the help
that I felt like he wanted, the very people that he was drawn to. So he is helping people. And because of his life, there are people that have gotten help. He is making a difference. He's making a difference every day that we get to help somebody. So he lives on here. And we just take it day by day, one day at a time.
Every time I speak to young people, we have 4 questions we ask. And first question is, how many of you know somebody your age, your grade, could be you or just somebody you know, drinks alcohol? Second question is, does weed, then pills, and the last question is, how many of you know somebody your age, your grade, again it could be you or just someone you know, is doing heroin. Becky collected the cards. We had 6 kids from the 7th grade answer yes to heroin. We're talking 12 and 13-year-old kids who are doing heroin. We got a problem. And prior to that, the earliest age was 8th grade. That was the first time I saw it in 7th grade. Another year or two, if we don't do something, we don't get a handle on this, we're going to see 6th grade. You're going to see it filter right on down. So we have to stop this. We're at war. We're at war with something that is robbing our children of their lives. They're robbing families of our children. My fight now is for my grandchildren, because if we don't stop this, they don't stand a chance. Your kids don't stand a chance. But I think the thing we end every program we do, if you know somebody's in trouble and needs help, call us. We'll help you.
Well, you know, and he says we'll help you. I mean, we try. We can't guarantee anything, you know, we try. And there are many more resources than us out there now. There are parents just like us that are reaching out, that are wanting to help people. So much has happened since 4 years ago in the whole arena of substance use. There is an awareness, there's this greater awareness. Stigma's not gone by any means, but it is being torn down because this thing has hit so many. I mean, it has gone across the board, you know, from low income to high income, to the influential, to the nobody. No race has not been affected by it. It touches everybody, and I believe what's happened is if you start to talk about it, somebody like what we're doing, I actually have found out because we talked, people have used us as the door opening to start the conversation. They'll say, did you read about that couple that, you know, is helping people? And people have told me they have used us as the doorway to get a conversation going with a family member or a friend, because they want to talk about what's going on in their life. And they'll say, well, you know, I can relate to them. This is happening in my family.